Okay, Teddy, thank you very much. I
Hmm.
want to thank everybody at Traders Talk Live for inviting me to be part of this webinar today. It's always fun to be here and to present something new and different and exciting. I love my job. I love being the director. I'm Leigh Goldstein, the director at JOBB, the newstraders.com, and I can't tell you how much fun I have doing this all the time. We do webinars with all the different companies, and Traders Talk's one of our favorites, and I want to thank you very much for having me today. So we have a special treat, a special trade that we want to present to everyone today. We've never in the history of our company done what we're going to do today, so it's pretty exciting, but I just want to get through a couple of the normal things that you got to get through. I'm going to show you what we call the Monday magnet trade. And the one thing that we've never done before is shown something that will work on every platform. Usually what we do requires our software, or our software makes what we do a lot easier. And I will say that that's always true with everything we do because our platform is very powerful. It's based around NinjaTrader, but we wanted to do something that everybody, no matter what platform they had, could take part in, and that's what we're going to do today, something different that we never did before. But first, the risk disclosure. You've got to know that trading futures can be highly risky. You don't want to trade more money than you can afford to lose. We are not a financial advisor. We are an educator, so keep in mind that the loss in electronic trading can be large. So please just read all your risk disclosures before you start trading. It's very important. And our earnings disclaimer, just so you know, we do not take part in get-rich-quick schemes. You read all the statistics. They say that 80% of traders lose money or don't make money at all, but I don't believe that's really true. It's not that they lose money because it's so hard to do this. It's because people don't want to put the time in. They don't want to practice. They don't want to overcome the difficulties that the market can throw at you. But trust me when I tell you this, the market sometimes give you bonuses. Today, for instance, one of our members traded right before I got here, we were trading the FOMC report. And one of our members, let me just remove his account number or he'll kill me. People always send us their real trades because that's the proof that a company is actually really doing something legitimate. If your members can't show you real trades, then what you're doing isn't legitimate. And it doesn't have to be a $5,000 trade. This was a trade that the member's brand new. Right before I got here, he traded the FOMC. I said in the trade room, this is going to be a long trade today because the FOMC is going to be calm, out of the way, and he traded using our software long only, and you can see his entry. He made $140 literally in about 10 seconds, and that's what I was doing before I got here. Now, it's a lot of fun when you have good trades. The point is, and the point of this earnings disclaimer is, you got to spend the time. This member is new and he's practicing and he's putting in the time to try and learn how to do things properly. Whatever your system is, you've got to study a little bit, at least a little bit, learn how to do it. Just don't start trading the first day after you take a class. You've got to learn how to do it right, and then it'll work for you. And today I'm going to show you one trade that's working for me. So don't forget that trading's risky, and don't trade money you can't afford to lose. So I know that most of you are sitting here and you're going, now, why should I even listen to this guy? Who is he? What does he have to say that could mean anything to me? But the point is, I'm just a regular guy. I'm a musician. I'm the trading director now at JOBB. I'm absolutely a musician at heart. I went to music college for trombone and piano. I was born in New York, and in 1971, I moved to Boston, and I drove cabs. I went to music school. I learned piano tuning. I bounced around, did a million different things. Eventually, I wound up back in New York City, and I started helping my mom with her investments. And that's how I became a trader. I started helping my mom because she had no clue what she was doing. The other question that people always say You know, if you're so great, you're making so much money, why do you teach? You don't need to teach. You're making a fortune of money. But the truth is, number one, I love to teach. I really love people. And when you teach, you learn what you're doing better than you did it before. You go over and over the same things that you do every day. And when you teach them, you're forced to think really carefully about what you're doing, and you're forced to lay it out in a much more understandable way than you've ever done before. That's why trading educators teach. It's not because we don't make any money trading. It's because we like to teach. It makes us better traders. Now, we happen to trade events. We don't sit in front of the charts for 80 hours a day waiting for our setups to take place. We look for specific events and we trade those events. And I love doing it that way because I get my life back. I get my family time back. I get the flexibility to trade, play my music, spend time with my family. Event trading is never boring. That FOMC trade was exciting. It's simple to grasp. The money doesn't hurt, but even more importantly, I trade on a schedule. I know every week what my schedule of trading is going to be, and I can schedule my life around that schedule. I don't have to sit in front of the charts for hours on a Tuesday waiting for a setup that may never come. My agenda for today is I'm going to teach you something that I call the magnet trade. It's a trade that has obviously a specific setup, target stops, number of contracts, a specific instrument, all the things you need to trade it. What do you do to test a trade? Those are all things you need to know with any trade, any system, anything that you do. Very important things that you have to know. What are some of the other benefits of what our company does? Fast event trades. The trades are over quickly. In 1 to 5 minutes, we're in and out of the market, either with a profit or a loss. Most often it's a profit. We don't have to waste hours waiting for the setups. And like I said before, you can schedule your trades like clockwork. You don't have to guess. And in fact, let me show you, do something unplanned here, because that's the beauty of doing webinars. This is my personal schedule. Every Sunday, I send a personal schedule to all the members in our trade room. I go over, I call it What's Up JOBB members, and I go over every event that I think will take place in our trade room that week. For instance, on Wednesday, if you got up early, 5:30 in the morning, the British CPI report was absolutely a tradable report. Today we had the FOMC, we had a trade room at 1:30, we had a trade at 2 o'clock, the energy report, the storage report. So we know every Sunday what our week looks like. And we call those event trades, news trades, whatever you want to call it. You can schedule your life around the schedule that we send out. Our members love it that they don't have to sit in front of the charts all day long. And these types of trades really move, often very much more than a regular trade will. And that especially can work in your favor on reversal trades. So you're in the right place right now. If you don't want to waste a lot of hours in front of the computer every day, if you want to be able to schedule your trades on specific days and times each week, and if you want to learn how to get in and out of every trade in just a couple of minutes so you can go back to the important stuff in your life. So what's a magnet trade? It's really the most simple concept. Support and resistance. Every trader knows what that is. Maybe yesterday's high was support, or maybe it was resistance, or maybe yesterday's low, or maybe the yearly high, or maybe a pivot, S1 or S3. Those are areas of support and resistance. Those are often magnets. Well, there are magnets that have much more power than other magnets. So to define it, a magnet is a price point that pulls the current price into an area of support or resistance. It pulls it into itself. If you watch almost any chart, and that's the beauty of this trade, we call it the Monday magnet trade, but this really is just a magnet trade. If you look at any chart, you will see price get pulled into the high of the day and the low of the day multiple times throughout the day. But the first test of this level after the market opens at 9:30 is one of the most powerful magnets. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. So we're just taking advantage of science here. Magnets pull, and we like being pulled. So every Monday, we have the Monday magnet trade. Like I said, virtually every platform is compatible. Now, I'm sure you could probably come up with a platform that won't work. So let's be honest, almost every platform is compatible for safety's sake here, so I don't get in trouble. You can use TOS, Think or Swim. You can use TradeStation. You can use NinjaTrader, which we use all the time, Sierra Charts, and more. You need only one simple standard indicator to use this trade and this strategy. We also include in the Monday Magnet Trade a weekly live trade room. Every Monday, we have a webinar for this trade. You're also going to learn a trading skill that'll work in any market, or it could work in any market. You've got to do a little study, but I've looked at the oil market, I've looked at the YM market, I've looked at many commodities markets that you will notice the price gets pulled into the high of the day and the low of the day on a regular basis. This trade takes less than 30 minutes to learn. It's easy enough that a child could learn to trade this trade. It also comes with our no risk action guarantee. I'll get into that later. And it doesn't have to be limited to Mondays only, just for fun. I'll show you a little video I made. I didn't know that this was going to happen. We weren't even live. We were just getting ready to leave our trade room the other day. And I noticed that the price, it was looking like it might be getting ready to test the high or the low. So watch what happens here. So this is what the Monday magnet trade, or what a magnet trade could look like. I used my strategy, my software, to put my stops on the chart. But basically, I put a buy stop near the high of the day. I put a sell stop near the low of the day. And I truly did this off the cuff, randomly, after we were actually done in our trade room. It was not a Monday, it was a Tuesday. And the date was March 19th. So you know I'm telling you the truth. You can see Tuesday here. And then we just figured, okay, let's hang out for a couple of minutes and let's see what happens. Let's see if the magnet trade's going to work. And the idea behind the trade is the magnet is this green line here, the high of the day. It's pulling, you can see it, it's pulling the price into it and testing that area. That trade pretty much has already worked. We entered below the high of the day. The test, the first target, is the high of the day. And you'll see in 1 second, I just randomly hit the close button just because we were fooling around in the trade room. This trade, it just works. And that was not even setting it up with stops and setting it up with extra targets. It was just a random magnet trade, which we notice in our trade room. It just works day in, day out, because markets love getting pulled into the high of the day and the low of the day. It's just something that happens over and over and over. It's like, what would be another good example of something else that does that? You're always going back and testing different levels. The PP is a pivot point. It's the central pivot. That pivot gets tested on a regular basis. It's a magnet. S3 is a pivot, that's a pretty heavy magnet. If you're in a very negative day and you're below S2 and more bad news comes out, S3 will often act as another magnet to pull price. But a magnet's important because you have to be aware that when you get pulled into that area, there might be a reversal soon. So it's not a trade you get married to. It's not a trade that you want to stay in for 100 hours. That's why we call it an event trade. It's a trade you want to load up early and get out quick. And we're actually starting something soon when I get the approval called Quick Hits at JOBB, where we're going to do these types of trades that happen very fast. They're not necessarily news trades, but they're event trades. And this Monday Magnet trade is an event trade. And like one of my members says who's in this webinar, you could do it at work because it takes so little time. If you have a couple of minutes, you can throw on your computer, and you're allowed to. You can throw up your platform, put a buy and a sell near the high or the low, and you could take a magnet trade. So it's a great skill to learn, and it works in a lot of different markets. So we call it the Monday Magnet trade. It's a futures trade. The contract that we trade is the NQ. And here's the funny thing about trading that I'll never understand. I mean, I've been a trader for years. Why don't people just use simple common sense when they're trading? What happens to us that because we're trading real money, we just lose control of our senses and don't use common sense? But let's follow this through just for a second. So we're going to trade this on Mondays, right? Why are we going to trade it on Mondays? There's orders left over from people that got stuck in the market on Friday. They couldn't get out of a trade for whatever reason. There's people that put orders in at the end of the day Friday to hold over the weekend. There's people that put orders in Sunday at 6 p.m. when the NQ market opens. Okay, in other words, a lot of people don't even know the market opens at 6 p.m. on Sunday for overnight trading into the market open on Monday. So common sense tells you, what's the market been doing since Sunday at 6 p.m.? Has there been news Sunday night into Monday morning that might give you a hint of a possible direction that the magnet trade might want to take? Maybe there's been a great Brexit news, although I doubt it, but maybe there's been great Chinese trade negotiation news, and the markets start trending up and up and up all night Sunday night. That might tell you that there's a good possibility that the magnet trade might be along. It might test the high before it tests the low that day. The point is, you've got to use common sense before any trade, whether you're trading news, whether you're trading in a discretionary manner. Why would you not pay attention to the news that's going on in the world when it always has an effect on what the markets do when you're trading? And it almost doesn't matter what you're trading. But if you're a discretionary, if you're a shorter term trader rather than a longer term trader, and you don't pay attention to news, you're going to get hurt, because that news could make the market move against you. And if you're not paying attention, you may not know why it's doing it. So it's very, very important. Use common sense when looking at the markets. Pay attention to the news. It may give you a great hint and help in the trade that you're going to want to be doing. So what's required for a magnet trade? It's hard to believe, but all you need is a single simple indicator. And I can't think of a platform that does not have the indicator. TOS has it, TradeStation has it, and I know that for a fact because I've used both of them. Sierra Charts, I'm sure it has it. Ninja Trader, I use it, it has it, you name it. And the indicator, all it is an indicator that shows the daily high and low of the day. That's it. You could trade just with the NQ futures contract, because you need a futures account to trade this trade, and that one simple indicator that shows the daily high and low of the day. I've never seen an indicator with a chart as simple as this, no joke. More often than not, our charts look like a mess of spaghetti with a million different indicators that we have to figure out what to do with. And after a while, it's confusing, it's frustrating. You don't know when to get in, you don't know when to get out. It's a breath of fresh air to have at least a couple of trades that just don't require very much, and yet they still can work on a regular basis. So this is a very easy trade to master because of that. And this is a secret. This trade can work on many different markets. We're just marketing it as an NQ trade. But I'm telling you, I've seen oil pull itself into the high and low of the day. I've seen gold pull itself into the high and low of the day. It's absolutely a trade that if you're a person that likes doing a little bit of creative thinking and you enjoy looking at the markets and coming up with other trades, you'll be able to take this skill, learning this trade, and turning it into something really, really positive for yourself. The other issue that you always have to think about when you're trading is margins. The magnet trade is a low margin trade because intraday margin rules apply, and they are the lowest margins. In other words, the broker requires that you have a certain amount of money in your account to trade. And intraday margin rules require the least amount of money. So most brokers, but not all, and you should always call your broker to find out what the margins are, but the NQ futures very often only require $500 in your account per contract. Now, of course, you need more than $500 in an account to trade. And you're being silly if you trade with, in my opinion, you should trade with $4,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 in your account if you don't want to worry every time you have a bad trade. But you know, it's funny, I was talking to one of the partners in my company the other day, and he did some of his best trading when he only had $2,000 in his account. So it's not that it can't be done, but for most people, underfunding your account is one of the greatest errors that beginning traders make. So it's important, know how much money you need to trade the trade you're going to trade and have more than that amount in your account. If your margin is $500 per contract, you know, you should have, if you have $5,000, you should trade 2 to 3 contracts. You shouldn't trade 10. Even though if you had a $10,000 account, you would be allowed to, that's still leveraging too much money and taking too much risk. You want to trade a proper risk profile for the amount of money in your account. So just make sure you understand, and that at least once, every now and then, you talk to your broker to verify what the margins are on the instruments that you trade. Instrument being the NQ, or if you trade corn, or if you trade the the YM, or you trade the E-mini ES. Know what the margins are so you don't get stuck. So what's a magnet trade? Remember, you need that indicator, right? That indicator that puts the high of the day or the low of the day on the chart is going to put it on the chart right there. So here's a chart. All we have is price. I happen to have a couple of moving averages. You don't need them. You could take them off the chart. They're not required. All you really need is the high of the day and the low of the day. That's rule number one for what is a magnet trade. Now, here's the hard part, and it's only hard because it looks like there's a lot of stuff there, but it really isn't, because we've shrunk all of this, and it's really just placing a couple of orders on the chart. That's all it is. But we've created a video so that you could just watch the video. You don't even have to read the trade setup. But this trade setup is included, of course, in our magnet trade offer. So what you're going to do is you take your chart, your platform, you load it up, you put your buy stop and your sell stop in a certain area on the chart, and you wait. okay? And then there's a little bit more that you do, and I'll get into that as well. What if you need help with the magnet trade or anything to do with us? What are you going to do if you need help? First off, with the magnet trade, every Monday we have the magnet trade trade room. So I'm available every Monday for free in that room. You can come into that room, you can ask questions, and we're not the kind of company where if you come in the room, we'll say, oh, wait, I'm too busy, I can't answer that question right now. Ask me some other time. That's not what we do. And I personally have been in 1 million trade rooms, 1 million. And I know how everything works in this business. I'm just like you are. I was a member of JOBB before I became an employee there, before I became their trade room moderator. I was just like everybody else. The only difference between me and you is maybe I've been doing this longer. That's the only difference. We are all the same when it comes down to it, and we all have questions, and we are available in our room. Our email, you know what? We're open on weekends. Email doesn't close on weekends. I don't understand companies that I send them an email and I don't get an email over the weekend. Why have email? It doesn't make sense to me. We're fast with our answers. We don't send you an email, an automated email. Thanks for the email. We'll get back to your email 24 hours. No, we answer your email because it's less work than setting up a whole automated system that maybe will answer your email in 24 hours. We work over the weekend, okay? We love people. We want you to succeed. We don't want you to not be able to do what we do. We want you to succeed. So here's what you get today in our magnet trade offer. You get the Monday Magnet live training course. It's a $397 value. That's the course itself. The training is live or recorded, okay? And it's yours forever. This is not like a monthly subscription. Once you get the magnet trade, it's yours for the rest of your life. You can do anything you want with it. We'd prefer if you don't give it away to your friends. We'd rather you send them to us to learn it. The training is live and recorded, okay? You get the trade, which is $297. 12 months for free in the Monday Magnet Trade Room. A simple to understand video lesson on trade management. Unlimited tech support, and that is the truth. And I believe that we have the best customer service that you'll ever receive in this business. I mean, I feel like I can guarantee it. I hear it from all our members. We treat our members like family. We're not doing this just to make money. We're doing this because we really enjoy teaching people and helping them to succeed. But there's something I talked my boss into including. I wanted to include what we call our HIRA, high impact report alerts, because the magnet trade is just one small thing that we do. We really specialize in trading the news. And every week, you saw my schedule, every week we have a schedule of news trades, event trades. We have an end of the day trade that we invented. We have an NQ open trade that one of our members invented. We have the magnet trade. And then we have our regular news trades, energy, FOMC. What surrounds that whole concept is this HIRA report, the high impact report alert. And what that is, we wanted to give that to you for a month for free if you sign up and buy our magnet trade, because that gives you a complete understanding in all the other things that we do at thenewstraders.com. The HIRA report, think of it this way. We knew yesterday what we were going to do on the FOMC. Our report came out. It was sent to all our members, and it told us, trade the NQ, use a certain size stop, a 15 tick stop, cancel in 20 seconds if you don't get filled, etc., etc. The point is, the HWhat shows you all of the interesting other things that we do besides the magnet trade. And we want you to know that, because we think that once you're hooked on the magnet trade, come into our trade room and see the way we operate, you're going to want to do other things with us. And I'm not selling anything else today except the magnet trade. That's it. I'm not selling you our software. I'm not selling you anything, because I believe by just getting your feet wet and coming into our trade room once a week and seeing what we do, you'll want to become a full-blown member of the newstraders.com, and you'll want to use our software. And we call our software JOBB software. We're now up to version 8, and it's our software is like a super duper ATM. But you're going to get a free month of the HWhat reports so you can see what we do. So these are the reasons to sign up today. Almost every platform is compatible. We went over that. One indicator, it's all you need. It's a skill that can be used in multiple markets. It takes less than 30 minutes to learn. We have a money-back action guarantee, and I already showed you it can work on other days, and we're only charging $297. I mean, it's not thousands of dollars, it's not $699, it's a one-time fee. Go to www.newjob.info. This offer expires at midnight tonight. It's just $297, but I want to show you a little bit more about the trade. So give me a second here, and I'll show you another video. I think video is probably one of the best ways to see what the trade can do. So the most important thing is understanding what the charts, that chart's too small, so I have it, let me show you in the video instead, it's easier to see. So this is an example of what the charts look like during a magnet trade. And this is a chart that's overly populated. You don't need the volume. You don't need any moving averages. All you need is this green line and this red line, and every single platform has it. The idea is you place your order X amount, and I'm not going to give away the whole trade now, a certain amount of area, a certain area away from the high of the day and the low of the day. And if you watch the trade, watch how the magnet works. And then if you really want to protect yourself, which you should do, not only will you place your order, but you're going to place your exits, okay? And they're very easy to do. You put a sell limit above your buy, a buy limit below your sell, and that's it. If you want to do it on a dome, you can do it on a dome. Just remember that most domes will allow you to place the high of the day on the dome, and they'll allow you to place the low of the day on the dome. That's all you need. You don't even need a chart to trade this trade. You could trade just with a dome, theoretically, because you can easily place your orders and your exits on a dome. If you had a program like TradeStation where they have a phenomenal dome, it would be a very manageable trade to even trade without a chart. That's how easy it is to trade this trade. Now watch the price. You know, you're sitting, you're waiting, it's kind of a relaxing trade. It's usually not ultra fast, where it happens so fast you can't think. But you notice that the price is moving upwards, right? It's sort of getting pulled. It's getting pulled like a magnet. The magnet is pulling that price. So watch what happens. It'll fill. It's going to fill that buy stop, that order, our initial order, and then the market is going to continue. You know, it's going to bounce around a little bit like markets do. Not everything happens in 1 second, although a lot of news trades happen in 5 seconds. Our FOMC trade was over pretty quick today. But you'll see it's going to fill, and then it's going to act like a magnet. That area of really its resistance, because the price is below it. So right now it's the resistance that's pulling us. And that'll happen. The resistance will pull you like a magnet. It'll go through it a little bit. You'll be able to sell your first target, your second target, and get out. And in a couple of minutes, you'll have a nice little profit. And then you could do it again in the middle of the day. You could do it after lunch. You could do it towards the end of the day. If you use common sense, there are certain times of the day where you could take our magnet trade rules and trade it over and over. There it is, magnet pulled you into the high. Protect yourself by moving your stop. Now you're just working on the market's money. You can't possibly lose a penny because your stop is above the market. The only thing you must remember, change your stop size, make it 1 because you were taken out of one contract. So there are a few things that you need to learn that I'm not showing you in this presentation. We're going to take the time to teach you properly in our webinars, in our classes. We want you to be an expert at the magnet trade so you can use it in all your favorite markets. But you saw this one happened to be a perfect day, an amazing day for a magnet trade. It went through and kept going, kept going. It was like the Energizer Bunny. It just wouldn't stop that day. Now, every day isn't going to be like that. Some of them will just be quick hits. You'll get out with a quick profit. We'd like to keep a small stop on this trade. That's spelled out in the learning video. So that was a perfect example of a quick, easy magnet trade. You see how simple that chart looks? I don't even need anything on this chart except that green line and that red line. That's it. I don't need volume. I know there's enough volume at 9:30 in the morning. If there's not enough volume at 9:30 in the morning to trade, then no one would be trading. It wouldn't be possible. So here are all the reasons. Let me go over our no risk action guarantee. And our guarantee is a little bit different than other people. We really believe that if you do what we spell out, that you will have success. I know that a lot of times people sign up for things they don't want to really do, and they sign up and they quit immediately, or they sign up and then they immediately put a cancel in for the next month because they don't want to do a subscription. Well, this isn't a subscription. It's a one-time fee of $297. It's very, very simple. Just go to newjob.jobb.info, buy the magnet trade. We will guarantee that after you finish our training course, give it the best try that you can. Come into the room, let me coach you. Take at least 5 trade room sessions and 5 trades, okay, during the first 6 months. If you decide you can't stand doing it after that, we'll give you a refund. But you gotta try it. We want you to try to take at least 5 sessions of the trade room, 5 trades, and we're not even demanding that you use real money, but we want you to at least spend 6 months with us trying this trade out, okay? Learn it, spend the time watching the video, and then after 6 months, if you decide that the investment is not for you and you can show us, in your account, it could be sim or live, that you actually gave it a try and you did 5 trade room sessions and 5 trades. That's all you have to do, and we would give you your money back, okay? I don't think we have one of the lowest refund rates of any company, because when we deliver something, we actually deliver something that works. People love trading the news with us. We tell them what not to do as much as we tell them what to do. And we do the same thing with the magnet trade. This morning, we didn't trade it. I took a picture to show everybody. By 10 o'clock, the trade still hadn't filled, but there was a reason. We went to the trade room and I told everybody, look, most chances today are that we're not going to have a magnet trade. The markets were flat, so that there was no movement overnight. And second to that, the FOMC announcement was today. It's almost always a time where you just don't get great movement early. You're going to get your better movement later in the day, okay, after the announcement. So once again, we are just charging a one-time payment of $297. The offer expires at midnight tonight. Don't forget, you go to www.newjob.info, 2Bs. Only one indicator is required, the high or the low of the day. Let me even show you what I'm talking about. It's so simple. It's incredible and so easy to do and set up the trade. If you want to be a real quick hit artist, you could really just set up the most simple chart that you ever saw with absolutely no indicators at all. So on NinjaTrader, the NQ looks like this. You don't need any of these indicators for this trade. Everything is a bye-bye. You need nothing. And that's what I love about this trade. You don't need the 200 MA, the moving average. You don't need volume. This is how simple your chart looks like. You get an indicator with NinjaTrader called current day open high low. Okay, that's it. That's the indicator. It shows me the low of the day. It shows me the high of the day. I can put on the chart a buy limit if I think the market's getting ready to test the high of the day. You know, maybe it'll test that high of the day. Now, of course, I'm in sim here. I would put it right here, not where the price is. Okay, so you're going to put it close. I'm not going to tell you where, but you're going to put it close, and you're going to do it at the right time. But this is what your chart looks like. Simple as a baby's chart. No joke. No millions of moving averages, no confusion, no difficult times to figure out when to use it. Arlene asked, is the trade room free forever? Manny, we give you the trade room free for a year, okay? By that year, you're not going to need any trade room help to do the magnet trade. We'll give you a year for free in the magnet trade room. We do also have a trade room, Manny, where we do all our news trades, and we would absolutely let you update to that for a very, very reasonable price, okay? Our trade room is not very expensive. Arlene asks, do you use the overnight range for the high and the low? Arlene, depending on your platform, here's the interesting thing about a high of the day trade or a low of the day trade. If you use a popular platform and a lot of people are looking at the same thing you're looking on, the magnet is going to work, whether it's the overnight range for the high and low, or if it's the 6 p.m. range for the high and low, or if it's the midnight range for the high and low. That's what's so fascinating about the trade. Arlene, I've tested it with almost all of the different ranges, and they all work. Obviously, the most important thing, common sense. If the market is not trending, or if the market is just up a half a point, and there's chaos, or it's just not a good trending market, don't trade it. If it doesn't look like it's going to move in a nice smooth direction, don't trade it. If the FOMC is making their announcement in 10 minutes, don't trade it. Use common sense. Use your intelligence to look at the market and trade it at the time that's the best. And of course, in our Monday morning, that free room, we're going to teach you things to look at and understand so that you decide when you might want to pass on the trade. And this morning was one of those days. We did not trade it. So once again, I've only got a minute left. I want to thank everybody for coming. It's always a pleasure. If you have a question, any more questions, please ask me. I'd be happy to answer it. This is the simplest trade you'll ever buy. It's yours for life. It's just $297, www.newjob.info. Expires at midnight tonight. How do you get to the room, VB? We will send you a link every Sunday where the room is, and all you'll have to do is click on the link. That is it. It's so simple. It's, you know, we should call this the Monday baby trade because it's so easy a baby could trade it. But I don't like to be that silly. I think you have to take things seriously, in all honesty. And trading is a serious business. The market does not like to give you its money, and we have to work hard to make the money. And we will do everything in our power, everything that we can do so that you can succeed trading the magnet trade. For $297, a couple of trades, couple of months, and you're going to easily make back your money, easily. So I just can't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to go to www.newjob.info and give us a shot for just $297, because not only are you buying the magnet trade, but you're buying a company that has a ton of other fantastic things that we are dying to teach you. And that's the truth. So I want to thank everybody at Traders Talk Live for having me here. It's been a pleasure to present. Like I said, I absolutely love people. You can tell from my excitement at being here and my, enthusiasm. I just love doing this. This magnet trade happens to be my trade in this company. We used to only do news trades. This is something new that we never did before. I said, hey, let's give it to everybody without making them use our software. And for just $297, newjob.info, you can do that. It expires tonight. So please come and sign up. And I can't wait to meet you in the trade room. So I want to thank you, Teddy. I'm going to hand it back over to you. Thanks again for having me, and I'll see you in the trade room. Take care, everybody.